Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. Today's pod comes to us from Suzanne Olette, writing in Crime Reads. First, a quick word from our sponsor. The Sunday Book Review for April 17, 2022, the Business Book Edition. And we begin with 0 to 1, Notes on Startups or How to Build a Future by Peter Theil. The great secret of our time is there are uncharted frontiers to explore, new inventions to create. In 0 to 1, legendary entrepreneur Peter Theil shows how we can find singular ways to create those things. He begins with a contrarian premise that we live in an age of technological stagnation, and even if we're too distracted by shiny mobile devices to notice, doing what someone else already knows how to takes the world from 1 to N, adding something familiar. But what do you do when you go from 0 to 1? The next Bill Gates will not build an operating system. Tomorrow's champions will not be won by competing ruthlessly. They will escape competition together because their businesses will be unique. 0 to 1 presents an optimistic view of the future of America. Next up, The Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. In The Business of the 21st Century, Robert Kiyosaki explains the revolutionary business of network marketing in the context of what makes any business a success in any economic situation. This book lends credibility to multi-level marketing and justifies why it can be an ideal vehicle to learn the basic skills, business skills, sales skills, even earn a little money. Next up, The Lean Startup by Ries. The Lean Startup is considered a Bible in the tech entrepreneurship community. It's a methodology for creating businesses that focus you on finding out what your customers actually want. It uses concepts of scientific experimentation to prove that you're making progress. It encourages you to launch as early and as cheaply as possible so you don't waste time and money. Learn the concepts of a minimum viable product, cohort metrics, A/B testing, virality, and startup pivots, all in this very interesting and indeed even fascinating book. Our final book is a little bit different. It is Operations Management, Sustainability and Supply Chain Management, the 12th edition by Jan Heizer, Barry Render, and Chuck Munson. A broad practical introduction to operations reinforced with extensive collection of practical problems. Operation Management, Sustainability and Supply Chain Management, 12th edition, presents a broad introduction to the field of operations in a realistic and practical manner while offering the largest and most diverse collection of issues on the market. Problems found in the 12th edition contain ample support to help readers understand concepts important to today for operations and supply chain professionals. These are not books about compliance, but if you're in compliance, I would suggest you check out one or more to give you some new ideas on upgrading your compliance program. We have a couple of new podcasts out on the Compliance Podcast Network I'd like to tell you about. The first is Hidden Traffic, where host Gwen Hassan looks at modern slavery and human trafficking. Gwen is well known in the compliance community for her passion around this topic, and she brings that passion to this new podcast. Also, I welcome to the Compliance Podcast Network All Things Investigation, a podcast that I host where the guests are members of the Hughes Hubbard Anti-Corruption and Investigations practice. If you've ever wondered some of the questions involved in anti-corruption and internal investigations, this will be the podcast for you from some of the country and indeed world's top experts at Hughes Hubbard. Finally, I'm extraordinarily pleased to announce a 5-part podcast series at Taxman on the intersection of tax and compliance, where with my tax colleague extraordinaire Tracy Howell, we look at 5 different issues that every compliance officer needs to be aware of regarding corporate tax. It's a fascinating series that's on a topic not often explored.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.